All right, this is Port Washington's cohort for Google Apps for Education through Stony Brook University. I'm Bill Hallman, the instructor, with Jackie Gilmartin, the teacher's assistant, with Susan, Fred, and Alicia. Um, so what we're going to talk about is we're slowly wrapping up our units of study in the trainer modules. So lucky for all of you next week, I'm going to give you off to enjoy the holiday with your families.
Did I tell you I loved you?
No, but you can if you want.
Trying to wrap up college applications with my daughter on top of everything else. I'm going nuts.
Good, good. Now, I know we all need a little break. We only have 3 classes left. It's going to go by very quickly. So the next 2, session 8 and session 9, we're going to really be more wrap up and prepping for your final face-to-face. So, things are going to go very quickly. What I do know is if you are going to take the Google Educator Exam 1, I have some information for you. Another instructor took the test, and so he had some things to share, and I'm going to post what he found out. The first thing is that you have to log in to this account. I'm going to post it in the chat for you. Okay, so this is a link to log in to register to take the exam. You first have to make an account, and I believe this is where you go to do that. Okay, the second thing that you're going to do is you have to come back in and then log into this company, which will be the place where you're going to go. That second link is going to be where you go to sign up to take the test. Now, I want you to understand, you do not have to take this test. Okay? There's nobody's that's going to say, oh, you didn't take the test, you failed the class. They don't have anything in common with each other. Okay? All of you have been doing the work in the syllabus. All of you have been grading very, very, very well. All of you are great listeners and follow directions to the T. So Jackie and I appreciate that. So if you choose to take the test, great. Okay, it just adds a little bonus to your repertoire that you're a Google educator and that you are level 1. So the second thing is that when you do go and purchase this test, make sure that you can take it within the next 7 days, because that's all they're going to give you from the time that they email you that the test is available until the time that they take that availability away. Okay, it's $10, and you have 3 times that you can actually take this again. So if you fail it the first time, no big deal. You can take it again. Of course, I think you have to pay the $10 again. Sorry, but you can't do it for 2 weeks, 14 days. And then the third time, if you fail it, the second time, after the second time, you can take it a third time, but you have to wait 60 days. Then if you fail it the third time, you have to wait a whole year. That's not my policy. That's Google's policy. I think it's a little strict. So that's all I know. He said that you should, if you know everything within those modules, you're going to pass the test, and that you should have no problems. Some of the questions that are in the unit review quizzes are also some of the questions that come up on the test itself. There is some performance-based parts to the test, which means that they make you do something. That means you might have to do something in Google Slides. You might have to do something in a calendar. You might have to do something on a sheet. So those are whatever they would have asked you to do in that module, they're probably going to ask you to do in the exam. The other thing is that you have 3 hours, and he did, you know, the instructor that took it, it only took him about an hour and 10 minutes, 15 minutes total. You do have to sit in front of the camera on your computer. Occasionally, I guess it takes pictures to make sure that it's you taking the test and that you don't have, you know, somebody like me at your house taking the exam for all of you. Now, if you pay me a lot of money, I might do it, but probably not. So anyway, so those are some of the insights that he has. I will post this at a later date, but I just wanted to give you the heads up on that, okay? All right. The second component that you're going to get in week 8, after we get back from the break, is on, there's 2 parts. One is the case study, and one is a Google integration project. Now, I want to try and explain this as clearly as possible. There are 2 avenues of study within the same course, and it starts here. If you don't think you're going to become a trainer, but you still want to learn everything about Google and become a Google educator, you can still do that. What we're going to have you do, though, is something different than those who choose to become a trainer. Okay? You kind of have to make up your mind in the next couple of weeks. And the reason why is because what I'm going to share with you now is what you would have to work on for this. Okay? So here's the case study. This is Google's case study. It's their template. And you'll see the only thing that we're going to have you do in week 8 is decide, A, if you're going to become a certified trainer, or B, if you're going to do an integration project. Now, the integration project we created, and this we didn't. Okay? So here we have number 1 is the only thing that we're asking you to fill out. Pretty simple, really, because you're going to know the name of your school, the challenges your school may be facing with technology or integrating professional development. I mean, you can come up with a million things. Now, the basis of engagement with you is how are others learning from you? Is that in professional development? Is it face-to-face? Is it online? They just want to know. Okay? Now, the fourth one, you may not be able to answer right now because you won't have a contact to have anybody give information about where you gave training at this point. You hopefully will, if you're going to become a trainer, hopefully you will have those opportunities and you will have names because Google will contact those people. The second part to this is the integration project. Now, this is something that myself and other colleagues have come up with. So it's going to integrate all the tools of Google into lesson plans that you will integrate within your classroom or within your department or within your school. So it can be as big as you want it or as small as you want it. Okay, so these questions are pretty basic as well. I think you have to make up your mind at which one you're going to go down, which road, which path. No one's going to bother you if you choose not to do the trainer. Okay? Nobody's going to point their finger. In fact, like I said to the last group, Jackie's group had 15 people and 10 of them chose to do integration projects and not do the trainer course. Okay? That's a personal choice. Only you can make that choice. Okay? Are there any questions about that? You guys are so quiet. Jackie, they're just as quiet as the last group.
I know.
Sinking in.
Yeah, okay. So that's going to be week 8. Also in week 8, I'm going to give you an outline for a final assignment. There's 2 parts to this. The first part is you're going to get a slide presentation that's an app smackdown presentation, and you're going to share an app, an extension, or an add-on that you want to share with everybody else. The only kicker here is nobody can have the same one. Okay? So I'm going to give you a slide with your name on it, and then you're going to want to put the app, the extension, or the add-on that you want to cover first before anybody else gets it. Okay? Now, there are 15 in the class, 15 or 16, right? So that means that all of us are going to get 15 or 16 different apps, extensions, or add-ons. So that's going to be in a slide presentation, which we will all have access to. Our last class on December 17th, it's a Thursday, between 3:30 and 4. We don't know the start time yet, but I will, once I know, I'll get that out to you, or Jackie will get that out to us. What we're going to do is something very similar, but you're going to present it to the group. So you're going to choose an app, an add-on, or an extension, and I don't care how you want to present that. You can do a screencast, you can do a slideshow, you can do a Powtoon, you could do any format you want to choose. Should take no more than 10 minutes for you to present your app and allow us to ask some questions. And then what will happen is that now between all of us we'll have 32 different apps, extensions, or add-ons, which is just a drop in the bucket to how many there really are available. Okay? Is that clear?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. So our last hangout, the other group signed all of you up to bring the snacks. It wasn't very nice, and I said that I would ask you. So I think they said, Fred, you have all the alcohol.
Okay.
No. No. We're not going to have a party. Well, I'll bring stuff, but we're not going to have a party. But I think, Susan, you have to bring the menorah, and Alicia has to bring the Christmas tree. And we'll decorate that.
There you go.
Happy to get some clay and learn how to make a menorah.
We can make dreidels.
There you go.
Instead. That'd be fun. So let me just go. Let me just start with Alicia. Is there anything that you need to ask or don't understand at this point?
I think I'm pretty clear about everything. I guess I just have some decision making to do.
Right. Now, I want you to also understand, and I didn't say this for the last group, you can always go and take these exams after the third class because you're going to have the framework of everything. You may decide over the summer, hey, I have more time. I'll take these tests, and I'll submit it in the September, October deadline. See what happens. It's a choice. Okay. So like I said though, nobody's going to point their finger at you and say, ooh, Alicia's not taking it, and she's a bad kid. We're not going to say that. Nobody's going to think that of you. Okay? I didn't think that I was going to actually use it when I took it either. I'm lucky that I'm actually getting to teach it at this level instead of just professional development at my school, which is hit and miss, because we're so small. We don't have that opportunity. Fred knows.
Yes.
How small we are. So, anything with the coursework or anything like that with Google Sites, a calendar? It's all pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think I'm doing okay.
Okay.
The only thing I had trouble with was I had to post my link. I don't know why. I was telling Jackie that just the other day.
Yeah,
but every time I go to post a stupid link, I don't know what happens. I can't get it to be blue and go right to it. And
have you done it before successfully?
I did once. Did it before, and it turned blue and it linked up. And then I did it yesterday, the other day. Out of frustration, I couldn't get it, and then I couldn't backtrack what I had up there. So I said disregard. And then I finally got the picture of the calendar up there in a different way. But I was just having trouble linking. That's all.
In
Right.
what order? And
Yeah, in Blackboard, she's having the
In Blackboard, yeah.
issue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no,
the link, you have to make sure you click that little link icon in the on the editor,
I
and then
do.
you can paste your link in, and then you got to make sure you say whether or not you want it
you have to
to.
have, I think, text highlighted too. That's what I seem to have. If
Yeah,
I post a link and then I have to highlight the
highlight it and go
text
to the
and then create a link out of it and then kind of paste in the same link.
exactly.
Right.
And then it,
Okay, that could be then. All right, I see what you're saying.
And the last component of that is where you put your link in up at the top. You want to tell it to open in a blank window,
right.
Yeah,
because if you don't, it opens within the Blackboard window.
and then it doesn't always open.
It doesn't always open.
So when you say open in a blank window, like right under usually where you have your stuff, I just hit reply. So it opens up a window for me. That's what you're talking about?
No, but when you're
No.
creating the hyperlink itself
Yeah.
and you paste the hyperlink in, there's a little drop-down menu right underneath where you paste it in, and it says, by default, it tries to open it in the same window. The second option below that says open up in a new window. That's the one you want to try to choose. This way,
Oh.
when somebody clicks on it, it should then go into a new window.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll try that out then. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You're very welcome. And that's all your problems?
I just said, with the
Well,
Google, the Google site, because I saw in this week's assignment, it said that should have been like an online resume thing or something like that.
Okay.
So I was just
Yeah.
doing that like as a classroom site before. So should I have made a separate site, or should I have made it like as a presentation thing of just of me, or is doing it for like my classrooms okay, or my classes, I should say.
What eventually you're going to have, Fred, is one just for Google that's a resume page
Okay.
or a resume site, so to speak. Okay? And
Okay.
what I did was I built upon that, and then I actually took my resume site and made it a Google Apps for Education trainer site. So I expanded, I just made a copy of it and then added it on and made a new, new title for it.
Okay.
But
Alright.
yes, it should really be more of a resume.
Okay. So now I'll start creating a new one then for this week, whatever. That's what I'll have to look. Yeah.
You have time. So, I know that when you go to take the second class, they're going to expect you to have Jackie's going to expect you to have some basis, and I mean, there may be a little bit of backtracking for some. I mean, I don't know if I shared my resume site. If I didn't, I'll try and post that.
Okay.
Okay,
So that
that'd
you
be
can
good.
see the difference between the one that I use if I ever did professional training at school. That would be the one I would use, or if the one that I sent to Google is my resume site.
Okay.
So that's going to have my actual resume. It's going to have my best practices. It's going to have all my work that I did from taking all the Google courses. It'll have my trainer certificate in there. All that stuff that they look for in the application is in one place.
Okay.
So you can link it, and then they can look at it, and they don't have to go from, object to object.
Okay.
all
Then
in
my
one place.
other question was, I know you were saying in the first option that we make the choice, the link for the trainer or something like that, or for the training you do, so that we'd have to set up on our own throughout the school. Is that basically what the case study, I guess, I'm talking about?
Right. The case study, you are going to follow what Google asks you to follow, which is you're really following their format. And the case study is they're going to ask you to choose some kind of it's what they want you to outline your training sessions, concepts that you focused on, hands-on exercises you ask participants to complete.
Okay.
They want feedback after the sessions. The
Okay.
impact
So a session like that, we would have to coordinate through Jackie, I guess, because she's within our school district, or
Well,
is that-
actually, the way that a lot of the teachers did it when I went through the training, so like for me, it's different because I'm obviously doing trainings all the time. So, but what they did was, even if they got together with some of their colleagues in their building, and during, like during lunch or, during some prep time, they did a training, whether it was like a half an hour, 45 minutes, then they clocked that time and they just presented to a couple, colleagues in their building.
Okay.
And then you can start to count all that because they all are valid training sessions. You don't have to have any specific, a special time set aside just for training and put up a sign up and stuff like that. If you can grab a couple people, in your department and you want to show them, one feature on like Google Docs for a half an hour, you can clock that time.
Okay.
Yeah, Google's very lenient on what professional development you provide. It doesn't have to be to a room of 300 people.
All right. Yeah, I just didn't know which, basically how you got that FaceTime, whatever. If there was a specific,
Yeah,
it had to be like I said, I guess like an official training session or something like that. I guess that was
Nope.
my question.
No.
That's the
It
route.
can be very informal. Like pull a couple people together and show them something, and then you just really have to clock those hours and give an explanation of what you did and what you covered, and you could do like a form survey for like a little feedback when they're all done or something like that.
Right.
I actually saw Amanda Joyce. She had done it at a faculty meeting. At the end of the faculty meeting, she asked, whoever would like to stay to see, and she showed that way, Fred. So,
Okay.
just an idea.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm feeling like a time crunch right now myself with everything else going on. I got 4 preps and that I'm learning, so figuring out what I'm doing here.
Right. And I know that in the beginning, you probably felt like there was a ton of stuff, information coming at you, and learning through Blackboard and communicating with others and all that. It will get easier, and you'll get more focused. And Sites is not the easiest web editor to use. Hopefully it gets better or changes. And but once you get into a routine, you're going to sit down, you're going to be able to bang out a site in an hour. Because it does have some really good components to it. The file cabinet is indispensable, and the announcements page is awesome because parents, can see that as well as the students, because if they have the link to your public page, you can make an announcement. They don't have to be a part of the classroom, tool only. Others will also get the announcements. Parents.
Now, quick question. When I created my Google site, I had to name it. I named it, I think, Susan O'Brien's Cool 5th Grade Class, because
Right.
other names were taken. So then I go in through my Google account and I access the site. But if I go into Google and I type in Mrs. O'Brien's Cool 5th Grade Class, is that going to show up? Like, how am I telling my parents how to access this?
Okay, so your school, Susan, is probably going to want the link. So in Google Sites, you have to actually make your page public under the settings page, and then it's going to give you a link that is the one that is going to be seen by everybody. That's the one that they would use.
Okay.
So in order for you to attach it within your website of school, you would have to give your IT department that link as well.
Okay.
Because without it, they can't point it to your site. Because your school may use something else.
Yes. School
Now,
wires.
Right. And, School Wires is a good, editor. If you want, you can take the site you currently have and put this site in it as a link.
Yeah, that's what I did with mine.
Okay.
So I have, just on one of my Google pages, I have a link out to my Google sites that I created for my certification.
That's probably an easy way to do it.
Yeah.
To have the parents go right to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So that is about all we have. If nobody has any other questions, we can stop the broadcast.
Okie dokie.
All right. So hold on a second.